Okay, I'm having to refilm this video, and yes, I did film it once before, because I got a few of the facts wrong, and I googled them after making the video, which was probably not the smartest idea, but whatever. So, oh my gosh, I hate this. I hate having to prop my phone up against literally anything that I have. 1 second. So, is anybody else noticing the similarities between late 2024 to 2026? And the 1940s. You know, World War II, Holocaust, crazy mustache man era. Okay, you get the idea if you're watching this. The point that I'm trying to make, and is going to be separated into two main topics. The first one being the similarities in America and Germany right before these really big events happening. I don't know how to describe it that well. And the similarities between ICE detention centers and Japanese internment camps. Yeah. So first, about the similarities between America and Germany. Before the 1940s, Germany was a quite progressive country for that time. Definitely not as much as you expect now. Sorry, I got interrupted in the middle of my thought. But, so I'm just gonna start over. Germany, like I said, was a very progressive country for the time. However, not as much as America was before late 2024. So, at the time, Germany was more active on women's rights and on women's rights and other things of that nature for the time. Just like how America was right before the 2024 election. They were all about, well, not all about, but most people were accepting and pretty okay with gay people and trans people and whatnot and people like that. However, just like Germany, as soon as a new person was elected and people started saying, "Make the country great again," things went downhill. One of the things that I think people are not noticing is that crazy mustache man said during the World War that he was going to make Germany great again. Just like how Mr. Cheez-It Man is saying, "Make America great again." Right? And those are all the similarities I could find there. However, there's probably more that I am not aware of. I did not do much research, but I did do some research, making sure my facts were correct before saying anything in this video. Except for like 2 things. But that's because I heard it by ear from multiple people. And if that's wrong as well, feel free to correct me. Please do. I don't want to be spreading misinformation. The second thing is Japanese internment camps. So, again, in the 1940s, there were Japanese internment camps popping up pretty much in just more like 2/3 of the country. There wasn't anything past Arkansas, but there were Japanese internment camps in, I don't know how many states, but it was a few. And some internment camps weren't even permanent. They were just like where you would stay if you were a Japanese American, going from one camp to the next, or being transferred from your home to another camp, right? And words, whoa. And what these were used for were, at the time there was a lot of paranoia about Japanese Americans because of the bombing of Pearl Harbor, being from the Japanese, and Japanese Americans were soon looked at differently, way differently, and imprisoned in camps where if you tried to leave, you would be shot. And these were hastily built, typically on really dry, desertous lands. If that makes sense. And another thing about where they were located is that they were typically on, like, Native American land, which is really sucky, but that's fine. It's not fine. It's not. That was not the reaction I wanted to make. Whatever. But the similarity between those and ICE detention camps is that a lot of ICE detention camps are basically just stolen jails from Native Americans. Because a lot of Native Americans, like bigger, more recognized tribes, have their own jails. And they are sometimes used as overflow centers for if, like, the main jail of the town, either neighboring or, neighboring, where the reservation is, and, like, if they have too many people, they would say, hey, can we send some of them to you? And so they do. However, now they are sometimes being used as ICE detention centers, and not even just as overflow. They are just ICE detention centers. They are sending people to those native people's jails, like on reservation land, just like Japanese internment camps. And people will stay there, and a lot of the time trying to leave gets you in real big trouble. I'm not sure if you can be shot for it, though I would not be surprised if you would, given the state of the country right now. But I have not researched that yet. So, and I hope people, like, really realize that what's going on right now is leading up to something we don't want to repeat again, that people have actively been against happening again since it happened the first time. Why are we doing this? And I don't know if I talked about this because my brain is not remembering, and I've also done this video twice before. But right before the Holocaust, Mr. Mustache Man is saying, make Germany great again. Cheeto Man, Cheez-It Man, make America great again. Right. It's just awful. And in a lot of the videos that you can find about Japanese internment camps, and there's, like, people explaining the experience that they have had in those internment camps, it's a lot of people saying, I just hope this doesn't happen again. This was a horrific experience for everybody in these internment camps and some of the people witnessing this over the television or newspaper or something. However, the message is in the right context, just not at the right time. And that's what really stings at this point. People that were really hoping that something like this wouldn't happen again. Something similar, or even something just a fraction of the size, but still having the same kind of impact. It's awful, and I hope it stops. Hopefully not after another world war. Thank you. And on that note, all that worry about the draft and stuff, you know, people going on social media and seeing like articles that are saying, if you have male children over the age of 18 or like 18 or older, be careful, they might get drafted. Which is really awful, because I know a lot of people who have older brothers that are 18 and up. And it just really makes me sad to think that some people are losing one of their family members to go fight in this war that they have not been a part of starting, and could potentially lose their lives doing so. It's serious, and I fear people are not taking it with the way that they should. A lot of people are taking this with a grain of salt when they should not. Though, seeing something on the internet, you should take it with a grain of salt before doing research. If you do research and you find that what they are saying is in fact true, or they are a reputable source, as in they are a professional or have done their own research and have sourced or cited where they have gotten this information, and those are reputable websites, yeah, you can go ahead and believe that. But unless you have done research, or you have proof that somebody else has done research on this topic, or they are a professional on the topic, don't go spreading this kind of information. I have, in fact, done research. I've watched multiple videos, and especially on Japanese internment camps. I just had a lesson about that in my history class. But, like I said, this isn't something to be laughing about, making jokes about, and especially not supporting. And that's really all I have to say on the topic, and this was the longest video that I've ever made so far at this point in time. But the length of the video is in fact needed with the nature of this topic. So if you want to go and do your own research on this and correct me on anything that I have spread that is not true, you can go ahead and do that. And if you don't, that's fine too, as long as you are not actively participating in any actions that would cause this to continue, or yeah, that's really it. But yeah, bye.